Hello again and welcome to the Cellar. I'm back and obviously I've been away for a bit and I'm really sorry about that, not giving you any explanation, and I've realized now that there was a lot of questions asked in the meantime. When I was finished with the excavation of the cellar, it was summer 2019. And it was a really difficult summer, and I won't go into details because it is not the purpose of this channel. But I wasn't in the mood to continue the videos, and also not a lot of things were happening in the cellar. I was a bit depressed with the project, and I hit a snag also. And I will talk about what happened with the cellar. So after removing all the dirt from the cellar, I was down to ground level, to the rock bed. But the main issue I had, and I still have, is the humidity. Of course, it's not uncommon to have humidity in such a place, but with ventilation, which maybe isn't adequate, but I tried nonetheless, and I didn't manage to make a dent in the humidity level. So I was, and I still am, quite worried about that. So I bought a dehumidifier, a small unit, and it had a pump which allowed me to connect it to the outlet of used water from which is in the cellar actually. With the unit continually running, the humidity level became around 70%, which is quite satisfying. But it was running continuously, and about I don't know, a couple months of that, the pump gave out. So it's just a small pump inside the unit. So I was trying to find a more durable solution. So I asked the plumber to give me a quote for a sump pump and connecting it to the outlet. He came here and gave me the quote, and we discussed about the issue. And the plumber works for a big company which also does ventilation and huge HVAC systems. He had an experience 100 meters or so from the house with radon in a high school. So they had to intervene in a big high school to remove the radon from the underground, and they did a huge ventilation system for that. And so he asked me if I knew of radon in the cellar. Really didn't know about radon as such. I was aware that the region we're in is quite radioactive. We have a lot of granitic underground, and not far from here, near a village where I was raised, there was a uranium mine, which is closed now, but still, the region is quite radioactive in that way. I investigated. I bought a radon sensor, which is a small unit which is capable of looking into the air and count the radioactive decaying particles. And of course, there was a lot of radon in the cellar, and coupled with the fact that I couldn't really address the humidity issue, I was really starting to wonder if it was really worth it to try to do something with the cellar. Because really, if I can't manage the humidity level, I can't store things in here. I've had wood rot in here with moisture and fungus and everything like that. Everything metallic is rusting. This is my main concern, is the humidity, and on top of that, the radon issue. I asked around, I researched a bit, and I talked to a couple of people, architects, and which really weren't as worried as I am with those issues. And for them, it's just a couple of fans, and everything will be okay. So I was a bit reassured with that. So then I tried to design a floor for the cellar. I found the solution of collaborating or composite flooring with a layer of steel beams, then a layer of a steel pan, and then on top of that you can pour concrete, and it allows for a great span between the beams. And yeah, I found this was a good solution for the cellar because I wanted something that was undoable in 50 years. If someone wants to to go back to the original cellar. With this solution, they can do that. And it won't be easy, of course, but it would be doable. And I didn't want to pour concrete all over the floor in place of the dirt. I had a lot of trouble excavating. And also, with a floor that was suspended above the rock bed, it allowed the possibility to have ventilation directly in the crawl space. I thought it was something that could help getting rid of the radon and humidity before it has time to go into the cellar. So I settled on this idea, and I went and contracted engineers to do final plans and strengths and load calculation for me. In the end, their plans were quite really similar to the ones I did myself. I will show you what I thought of as a solution. So I made a bit of a preview, an animation of the work. So you'll see first the layer of steel beams, and then we have the steel pans, and then at the end we have the concrete. All of that took time in the middle of the pandemic, and that's what I've been doing those past 2 years. Is designing the floor, trying to find some contractors, agreeing on a quote, etc., and finding a date. So it was a long process, but the works are done now. I'm standing in the new cellar, so I will show you what it looks like at the end, of course. But now let's take a montage of how the work proceeded. I wasn't able to shoot when they were working in the cellar, but I went and checked the work at the end of every day and even at midday. Okay, so let's take a quick tour of the cellar. I'm sorry, there is a bit of a mess because I've started working in here. So here we have the entrance to the under cellar. Here we have the inlet of the power, and at some point in the cellar, we have some wires that come out, and I will be able to plug some things. And yeah, it's a nice use of the floor. This is a crawl space under here, which will have many uses. First of which is ventilation. And also I will be able to store things in it, especially stones. And we have the second level in here. So this is 71 centimeters. I don't know, maybe 3 feet. And it will have 3 steps, which I need to make. Here I have the outlet for the ventilation of the crawl space. So the idea is to take the air in here before it has time to go into the cellar. So to remove the humidity and the radon at the source. Of course, I will still have to ventilate the rest of the place, because in here and maybe in the secondary cellar, I have humidity and radon also, so I will need to ventilate the volume. And here we have another drop, but it's only two steps maybe, or just one. Maybe just one will be enough. A big step, and yeah. So in the end, I'm quite pleased with the result. I think it's a nice space right now. It's really great to be able to work on level floor, and it's really great. And I'm happy with how it turned out in the end. And I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm really motivated right now. And I missed working in the cellar, and now I can do that again, and it's great. I will focus at first on the humidity issue, and after that I have a lot of things to do, and I still need to figure out a way to enter the cellar, because right now the ladder is not good enough. So thank you for having watched the video until then, and I hope I'll see you soon.